Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Heartland Havoc. I am your host, Caleb Long, along with your co host who took a weekend trip to Nashville and now has a Southern accent. Hello, it is Chris Long. How are we doing?
Doing pretty good, y'all.
Okay. I was like, he didn't try to do the Southern accent and then he hit the y'all at the end of it. So, like, I guess you can say that's Southern. But we're going to talk about week 8 of the District 4 football season, talk about the games, do our power rankings. We're going to also look at the playoff picture, and then we're going to talk about week 9 up and coming in just a couple days, and also end off with our Talking Time Machine segment to end it off. Y'all know the drill, so let's get into it. We're going to start off. Last week there was a lot of blowouts. There were some interesting results in some of these matchups, but this segment might be fast. I'm gonna rattle off some of the
Let's go through it.
Some of the blowouts. We got Hollidaysburg beating Selinsgrove 42-14. The only thing I will note is that I do feel like Selinsgrove hung in the best out of all of the teams in District 4 so far that have faced on Hollidaysburg.
By score, they did.
And they got off. I believe Selinsgrove scored first as well, if I remember correctly. Yes, no, they did. But I mean, Hollidaysburg is such a good team, one of the best teams in the state. So, like, a loss, you kind of got to take that on the chin. Got Mifflinburg beating Central Columbia 65-3. I believe that game was in Mercy Rule at halftime, going into halftime. We have Shamokin blowing out Lewisburg 38-0. Wellsboro blowing out Canton 49-7. Montgomery blowing out Holy Redeemer 57-6. Yeah, a lot of blowouts. Berwick beating Williamsport 63-19. Berwick's been a very good team in 2A. They stay undefeated. And I believe they're in not 2A, District 2, Class 3A. And they may be a top dog or sleeper. I don't know where they would stand in the Class 3A in statewide, but I don't know. They're a very strong team.
They're definitely a bulldog.
That's true. I know Berwick's got that dog in them. All right, we got Tawanda beating Sayre 43-14. Hanover area beating Columbia Montorvo Tech 63-0. Lion Mountain staying undefeated, taking care of business, beating James Buchanan 54-8. Milton shutting out Midwest 47-0. Warrior Run beating Hughesville 42-7. Cowanesque Valley beating Northwest Area 60-0. Troy beating North Penn Mansfield 58-10. Jersey Shore beating Penwood 44-20. And all of the rest of these games have a bit of closer scores. So we're gonna dissect those ones a little bit more. We have Montgomery beating Central Mountain 35-13. And Mount Carmel is finally 500 on the season. They have come back pretty nicely after a very rocky start. Three-game win streak, I should say.
Mount Carmel with that running game is getting that going and just running through people as they take on their opponents the last few weeks. Plus, it might be some of the competition. They're taking care of business on those that they should be dealing with right now, the 4-4 record.
They're getting their bounce back wins, and they're building up momentum towards the end of the season. We have South Williamsport beating Muncie 28-20, and like some pretty decent implications for Northern Tier. South Williamsport sneakily is 5-3 in 2A. I say very sneakily, very similar to Mount Carmel. They started off 1-3 on the season, and they've rattled off 4 straight wins. And this one's definitely their most impressive win against a young but pretty decent Muncie team. And South Williamsport turning things around, riding the ship of their season.
Correct. Coach Eisworth up there has things looking back in the correct direction right now for them as they head into the final 2 weeks. So looking to gain ground in that tough double A bracket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking about the Double A bracket, one of those teams is Loyal Sock. They were able to get a bounce back win after a very tough loss against Warrior Run. They beat Danville 34-20. Think a very strong win from them. A Danville team that I think is starting to turn things around. I believe their quarterback is back.
I did not check the stats on that from this week. I'm not sure if he is back or not.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to look at it. Carter Ralph, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was back for some of the game. He yeah. Carter Ralph is back. Went 8 for 16 and 133 yards. Kozer, I believe their backup, also threw for.
Kozer's the interesting prospect. He's a young kid, but he's about 6'6", stands tall back there in the pocket, plays some defensive end for them.
Yeah. He threw 176 that game. But yeah, I mean, got a good bounce back win for Loyal Sock there after losing to Warrior Run. So Coates had another good game. They're leaning on him heavy. He had 45 carries for 184 yards and 3 touchdowns. So the offense is going through Coates for sure. But good win for them. But they alluding to this, I believe, if I remember correctly, they have a pretty tough matchup next week. And next game we're going to talk about is Bloomsburg beating Shikellamy 32-21. And what I will say is that Wyatt Brocious is quite really good. Wyatt Brocious is a phenomenal quarterback. He's just really solid. He had a great game against Shikellamy. Shikellamy is a good up and coming team. There is one glaring issue. They really need to work on their DBs need to definitely be worked on. They were letting passes go all night. But a great win for Bloomsburg. I think I was sleeping on them for a good chunk of time, but Brocious had 219 yards passing and 109 yards rushing, along with 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. So, I mean, great game for Wyatt Brocious. And Bloomsburg is like another one of those tough teams in 2A.
Right. That bracket is going to be interesting when the dust settles and we see what happens going into week 11.
All right. And our last game, Southern Columbia versus Montoursville. Now final score 26-16. I remember our wager, our bet. We should say how many passing attempts.
Oh, that's right.
I think we said 13.5 or 14.5. And looking at this, both teams had 14 attempts. So 28, I should say. Quick math failed me there, I guess. 28 passing attempts. Hit way over.
Way on the over. So we thought it would be more of a ground game, and both teams came out looking to do some damage in the air, and in fact, Southern did that. I believe Montoursville had some of their throws later in the game as they were trying to come back, cut down the lead that Southern had established early on.
Yes, it was a very slow game. It was 7-3. Southern Columbia up at halftime, and then Southern Columbia went up in the third. Montoursville kept on trying to come back, but Southern Columbia would keep on answering. And Southern Columbia in this more brutal stretch of their schedule is proving, we're still the top dogs. We're still a team you should be afraid of. And they just proved it. They beat Mifflinburg. They beat Montoursville. Those were their 2 big games circled on their schedule, I feel, as the season, early season was going through. And I mean, they delivered. They absolutely delivered. if you're Montoursville, this Southern Columbia team may very well be. I think there's definitely the case for them to be the top 2A school. Your losses are to the top 2A school and the top 3A school. So, I mean, good game from them. And I don't know. I believe this was their first points they gave up since the Mifflinburg loss. Let me just check and make sure that's correct.
Oh, that is what you would have said before. So
I think that is what I said before. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. I mean, you had a great streak, and you got a bounce back game next week, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and now we are going to our power
rankings. Okay.
So our top 10. Here we go. Who do you have as your number 10?
My number 10 this week is a new team into my power rankings. Bringing in from the northern tier. Currently, they're 7-1. Athens.
Okay. I will say for my ranking, I couldn't decide at the 10 spot who was better, Athens or Montgomery. So like I believe week 4 or 5, I had Shikellamy and Loyalsock at number 10. We have Athens and Montgomery at number 10. And like I think they've both had really good wins against very similar opponents. And like both of their losses, Montgomery losing to Woiran at the beginning of the season, Athens losing to Troy at the beginning of the season, are both like good losses. And it was hard for me to distinguish, to figure out which result was better between them, which resume was better. So I said, throw them in there, both throw them in there, get them the recognition that I believe they both deserve.
Interesting.
Who do you have at your 9 spot?
My 9 spot is Montgomery. So I have them also 7-1, but I have them at 9.
Okay.
So I have them by themselves at 9.
Okay. I have Montoursville
at
number 9. I mean, a little bit of a not necessarily a spoiler, but last week I did have Southern Columbia at my number 3 spot. And I think losing to like a top team who is really picking up steam, and you were hanging with them for a lot of the game, so for most of the game. And I just think, it is a tough loss, but Montgomery is still a solid team. I feel like even though they're at 2 losses, you gotta sort of recognize how good they are and the body of work that they've put up until this moment. So Montoursville is my number 9.
That's a good point, and I actually have Montoursville dropping out of my top 10, which is where Athens came in with the loss. So it's hard to keep a 7-1 team out over a 6-2 team. But Montoursville does have some great, or their losses are tough losses, and where they're at right now, it could easily be they're still sitting well in the 2nd spot. So it is interesting. That I dropped them out. Had I thought about maybe ranking both teams, I might have done that.
Yeah,
in the 10 spot.
If you thought about cheating like I did, then
then
maybe you'd go for it.
Sliding the system.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
think about how many ESPN shows you watch where they do power rankings. They're like, I simply can't decide. I have to bend the rules and include 11 teams, top 11, whatever.
Okay.
Number 8.
Number 8, I have the Bloomsburg Panthers.
I have Troy at number 8.
Okay.
I mean, Northern Tier, solid best Northern Tier team, honestly. Yeah. I don't know if I have more to say to that. I have Bloomsburg at 7, though.
I have Mifflinburg at 7.
I think I was really underrating Bloomsburg last week because I had them at 10, and then they showed me the truth. They showed me the light of Wyatt Brocious. No, literally showed me because I watched the live stream while I was doing the radio broadcast.
He is, and they have a solid team overall.
Yes, and they have really good wide receivers that complement Brocious a lot. And I don't know. I think this is one of the most entertaining offenses. No, not one of. I think it's the most entertaining offense to watch If you ever have the chance to watch them, go for it. I might even suggest to my papa over here, my padre, to watch the Shikellamy Bloomsburg game afterwards.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know if he'll find time to do it. But you have Mifflinburg at 7. I
Yeah.
have them at 6.
And then I have Troy at 6.
Okay, gotcha. So a little bit of a shuffling around.
Yep.
And I believe we are keeping the same teams in the top 5 from last week,
We are.
but in the same order. We'll
Let's
find
see
out
what happens.
Number 5, Warrior Run.
I have Warrior Run also.
Warrior Run at number 5. You know, they're keeping the ship steady. They got a really good win against Hughesville, beating competition that they should beat. And yeah, number 4, I have Jersey Shore.
I also have Jersey Shore.
Also, sort of, except they are getting a little bit of bonus points for this one because Penwood is a 5A school. They are getting some bonus points for beating a 5A school.
Sure.
Number 3.
Number 3, I have Southern Columbia.
Oh, I have Line Mountain at number 3. I think, Line Mountain's a solid team, but Southern Columbia is my 2. And I would rather have like the big marquee wins of Mifflinburg and Montoursville, and maybe even a little bit of Loyal Sock. Than and they were all very strong wins. Line Mountain's strongest win, I think, when it comes to mind, is maybe Steelton High Spire.
Sure.
And that one was a closer matchup.
It is.
And no shade to Line Mountain. I just think Southern Columbia is hitting its stride. That one's mine. It's hitting its stride way better. And yeah.
But Line Mountain hasn't lost, though. So that's why I have them at number 2 and Southern at number 3. Line Mountain's
fair.
Undefeated. They've beaten everyone on their schedule. And that's why I have them where they're at. And then I think we both have Shamokin at number 1.
We have Shamokin at number 1, unwavering from that spot, I believe, ever since we started this podcast. Which, top dogs. They're going to be contenders in 4A for sure. No doubt in my mind about that. But now that we're done with power rankings, it's getting to the end of the season.
Yep.
You're probably really antsy being like, where is my team stand in the playoff picture? Teams only have 2 more games to make their cases, make their statements, get into the playoffs, or get into a higher seed. So we're going to go through the playoff picture for this week and next week. And then, week 10, we're going to, when we recap, we'll talk about the playoffs and stuff like that. But heading into week 9, what does the playoff picture look like for Class 1A? We're going to start from 1A, work our way up.
Okay, so 1A, interestingly enough, this was the week that teams could opt out and declare they're not going to play in the playoffs.
Okay, yes.
That happened this week.
And that's district-wide, right?
Yep, that's district-wide.
Yep,
teams could just say, hey, we're not going to play even if we qualify for the 4 seed.
Okay.
Or 8 seed. So
and the real reason for that is like what? Like if they want to go into other tournaments, or
they just don't really want to play, or they might be like Northwest sitting at 2 and 6. That's at the 4 seed in single A, and they opted out.
Interesting. Okay.
So they just don't want to go in. Some schools have a policy where they must have a 500 record to make the playoffs.
Interesting.
No matter what.
So they're punishing mediocrity.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that.
But
learn something new every day.
So that leads us to this: is that there are only 3 teams that will qualify for single A playoffs.
Wait.
So right.
So there's 6 teams, right?
There is 7 teams in single A.
So you're telling me 4 teams opted out of going into the playoffs?
4 teams opted out. Northwest at 2 and 6, Canton at 1 and 7, Sarah at 0 and 8, and Bucktail at 1 and 6. So they all opted out. So they're not going to play Lime Mountain. They're not going to get a drubbing by Lime Mountain in week 10 or week 11. Lime Mountain then gets a bye. Assuming they'll hold on to the number 1 seed.
Right, this is assuming. Yeah.
They'll get a bye and then play the Montgomery-Muncie winner.
Interesting. This hurts me a little bit. I don't know. I think even if you have a young team, I think getting playoff experience in general, even if it's going to be a blowout loss, I think you should just go for it. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a man who wants to see competition happen, but like I I don't know. If you are a program that is struggling to reach 500, like I think a way to try to remedy that is giving your players a like more experience.
I think this is a generational. There, I see it both ways. I also see it, in 2018. I think we used that extra week, a 3-7 Warrior Run team that I coached. I think we used that extra week to springboard into the 2019 season.
Yeah, I mean, we knew
That
we were
was
going to lose to
successful.
Danville.
Heading into, well, it was a rematch with Danville. We were 8-1. Not a good matchup, but I think we used that to prepare for the next year.
Right.
So there's that side of things. Then I also see the side of things when you used to have to be 500 to make it, no matter what, back in the day. So I see the older generation ideal coming through in that also. That, well, what's the purpose? So I see both sides of it. Anyway, in single A, there will be 3 teams: Lyon Mountain, Montgomery, and Muncie. Barring any drastic downfalls, these seedings, I would say, are almost set because Montgomery, even in the power rankings, has a 100-point advantage going by the decimal point, a 10% advantage over, because it's 0.768, 0.590, and then 0.491. That's where I'm going with the 100, just so the listeners are clear, in the power points over Muncie. So Montgomery has that 100-point advantage over Montgomery.
All right. Good to know. Now, things are going to get a lot more interesting.
Oh, we get interesting in 2A.
2A.
Really interesting. So no one has opted out of the 12 teams in 2A. So there's
Pop off my Kings.
8 teams will qualify. Right now, with their win this past week, Southern Columbia overtakes Warrior Run as the 1 seed.
That makes sense. Sense. They've played a lot more 3A teams than Warrior Run has. So
yeah, Southern sits at 707. Also, their opponent's winning percentage past Warrior Run's.
That's, yes.
707. Warrior Run sitting in second place at 679. Then you have Troy in third at 665. And then you have Bloomsburg in fourth at 642.
I don't know. I'm a little shocked that Bloomsburg isn't 3 or 2 just because they beat a 4A school.
Well, their opponent,
like that would give them a lot more.
Yeah, that's part of it, Kale. But their opponent's winning percentage,
give them more bonus points.
Their opponent's winning percentage is lower.
Oh, okay.
Like significant lower.
Okay, fair.
And then you got Loyalsock with a 5-3 record at 539. South Williamsport now is the 6th seed.
Okay.
At 5-3. And then you come into who wants to play in the playoffs.
Who wants Warrior Run and who wants Southern.
So 7 you have Wellsboro. They're sneakily 4-4.
Yeah, but they were like 4-2 or like 4-1, and then they've lost a couple of games.
They're 4-4 with a 440% rating. North Penn Mansfield 4-4 with a 410 rating.
Mm-hmm. And
Kawaneski Valley 4-4 with a 363 rating. And then you got Wyalusing at 2-6 with a 330 rating.
So those final spots are going to be fought by Northern Tier teams.
Yeah, they're going to be filled by Northern Tier probably, unless Hughesville would get a couple wins and sneak in. They're 2-6, but they need to probably win their last 2 to get in competition with that.
Right.
And so it's very interesting how this is all going to shake out in the seeding wise as we come down to the end here in District 4 2A. Remaining games, if we want to get into that a little bit and look at who has who left.
I'm looking for specifically District 2. We'll touch on this more, but Bloomsburg and Southern are playing each other this week.
Well, yeah, okay. So it's Bloomsburg Southern, then Southern plays Schick in week 10, and Bloom has Central Columbia
Well,
in
I
week
was
10.
just looking at next week.
Okay.
I was just looking at next week, seeing what
Okay.
was there.
Yeah.
So there was that, and Kawaneski Valley and North Bend Mansfield are playing next week.
Nice.
So those there could be some shuffling happening around.
Warrior Run has Central Columbia this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
And okay, so if I understand correctly, the 4 and 5 game, if everything would stay chalk, would be a rematch of Loyalsock and Bloomsburg,
Correct.
which I think that's very interesting. You have your Northern Tier matchup 3 and 6, South Williamsport and Troy. If everything stayed chalk, that would also be the same. So we'll see what happens there. There's a lot of there that
A lot can happen last
2A could be really
Class 2A. Yep.
interesting. Yeah, Class 2A.
Okay, moving on to AAA at this point. 2 teams have opted out of the 8.
Can I
Mid
guess mid? Okay, yeah, I was gonna guess Midwest.
and Central Columbia.
That also makes sense.
Central is definitely one of those schools with the 500 rule, by the way. Okay,
Fair enough.
Which 4 teams will qualify. Right now, you have Mifflinburg as the 1 seed.
Yep.
Then Montoursville is the 2 at 6 and 2. No surprise here that Mount Carmel is the 3.
Yep. They've been clawing their way into that spot.
And this is where it gets dicey.
Oh, okay.
For the 4 seed, you have Milton at 394 rating. Then you have Lewisburg at a 388 rating. And then you have Danville at a 362 rating.
So I mean that's close enough to where they can jump each other.
Exactly.
If things can happen. And all 3 of them have really tough matchups
this week. Danville has Shikellamy. I know that.
Lewisburg has Montoursville.
Okay.
And Milton has Mount Carmel. If Milton somehow wins this game against Mount Carmel, that could also be very fun.
That's interesting. If Lewisburg would somehow upset Montoursville again. But you know what this is not going to do? This is not going to drop. Even if Lewisburg loses, their opponent's winning percentage is 638.
Lewisburg's?
Right now.
That is strong.
So this is not going to cause that to go down. Not going to cause that to go down at all.
All right. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, 3A could still have some interesting movers and shakers over there. What about 4A?
4A, again, with 4 teams qualifying, 6 teams total. Columbia Montourville Tech has opted out.
They've always kind of opted out.
Yeah.
Are they one of those schools that need to have a 500 record?
I don't know. I just think they don't want to go to Slaughterhouse.
That's fair.
Number 1 is Shamokin.
Yep.
Number 2 is Jersey Shore.
Oh, I was thinking Athens could have been number 2.
Well, this goes by, the opponent's win percentage really factoring into this one.
Fair. Yeah, that's true.
Athens is 3.
Schick is 4.
Schick is 4, and Selinsgrove is 5.
Okay. And
I would think those are pretty much the top 4 of the 4 teams that are going to make it.
And I think I'd reckon to say that that's how it's gonna fill out too.
Very well could.
Just like those seedings, I think those could stay the same for the rest of the season. And class 5A.
We don't have 5A.
I was trying to remember which one Williamsport was in.
We're jumping to the District 4/District 2 sub-regional rankings. You have Wilkes-Barre area at the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Williamsport is 2. Scranton is 3, and Hazleton is 4.
Okay. Williamsport is getting a little bit. So I mean, what's the other records in there? Is there any way Williamsport can get the 1 seed? Is my question.
5 and 3. 619 is their rating. Williamsport 4 and 4. 524 rating. Yeah, then you have Scranton at 2 and 6, and Hazleton at 1 and 7.
Okay, interesting. So it looks like Williamsport will just lock up the 2 seed.
Right.
At least I should say. I mean, there's a
Right.
chance they could find their way back up to the 1 seed because I think they were the 1 seed for a
They
while
were the
there.
1 seed for a while. Then they've lost a few now.
All right. And now we're heading into our week 9 matchups. We alluded to some of these, but we're going to go through all of them still. Anyways, we have Montoursville versus Lewisburg, a game that could lead to something interesting if Lewisburg is able to pull off the upset. But I'm thinking Montoursville really wants to have a good bounce back game after their loss to Southern Columbia.
They've battled in some close games the last couple years.
You
Two
would know.
years,
You were their
two
athletic
year,
director.
2 years ago, the regular season game came down to overtime, and then Lewisburg beat Montoursville in overtime.
Oh,
Or
you're
in the
right. You're right.
postseason.
No, I remember
Yeah,
that.
that was 2 years ago. That was a really interesting scenario. And we'll see what happens. I don't recall what happened last year. I was not there anymore. Probably Lewisburg won because I think they only lost to Shamokin in the regular season
Yeah, I
last
think
year.
that's right. Lewisburg was really good last year.
So we'll see what happens. Montoursville probably looking for some revenges. They've lost 2 out of 3 games in the last 2 years to them.
Yeah, for sure. And we have next up we have Hollidaysburg keeping their tour of District 4, I should say. They got Williamsport on the docket and should be a good game for Hollidaysburg. Williamsport is like a fun offense to watch for sure. They've put up
Right.
some really fun games, especially with Jersey Shore. So we'll see how they do. I don't know. We'll see how they do. I think Williamsport, this would be a big win if Williamsport could get the dub,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows really? We have Jersey Shore taking on Scranton Prep
Yep.
class
Okay.
class 3A for Scranton Prep up
They're
in.
pretty good. That could be a interesting match. That is an interesting matchup for Jersey Shore. Going to,
I don't know that much about Scranton Prep. I
yeah, I
know
think
I
they're
know
pretty decent.
their division that they play in is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
We have Troy taking on Central Mountain. That one should be another solid win for Troy. We have Shikellamy versus Danville. This could be an interesting one now with Danville getting their starting quarterback back. It'll be interesting to see how he plays with limited time in the season. They're trying to
Right.
get a little playoff push going. If they win against Shikellamy, it could be big for them as like a momentum swing because they've been very up and down this season. But they need sort of a final push to put them over the edge.
Right, but that could swing them possibly up there. Yeah, yeah, keep them in that 4 spot.
Mm-hmm.
3A.
Get them, keep them in the 4 spot. We have Loyal Sock taking on Shamokin, and
Huh.
this could be a fun rushing game. There could be a lot of rushing
There
yards
could be a lot
happening
of rushing yards.
in this game. I mean, Loyal Sock's been running coats for like 40 rushing attempts the entire time. So like will Loyal Sock be able to get through that big defensive line that Shamokin has?
Over under of 400 yards combined
I 400 yards combined.
by both teams.
Rushing yards or total yards?
Rushing.
Oh, rushing yards. That's I'm willing to take the over on that.
Hmm.
I think I'm willing to take the over on that.
We'll see what happens.
I think both teams are very effective at running the ball. So
Right.
yep, we got a Northern Tier matchup. I guess I don't remember where Tunkhannock is.
Tunkhannock's no,
No, they're not Northern Tier. I don't know
They'd
what
be
I'm thinking.
Wyoming. They'd be up north.
You're
east.
so right, dude.
Yeah.
Tunkhannock's taking on Tawanda. Wow, that transition failed horribly. But moving on to an actual Northern Tier matchup, we got a Northwest area taking on Wellsboro. Wellsboro gonna be looking to rattle off some wins to hopefully lock in a playoff spot for them. And we alluded to this matchup a little bit when we were talking about the 3A playoff picture, Mount Carmel versus Milton.
Ooh,
This one could be very fun. This one has the chance. I think Milton has had some solid wins the past couple of weeks. I believe they destroyed they shut out Central Columbia and they shut out Midwest. Not the craziest teams. I think the big win here actually that they have is shutting out South Williamsport.
yeah, that's looking more and more solid now.
That's looking more and more solid now. If they get a win against Mount Carmel, I think this is a sleeper team potentially.
Definitely.
But we'll see. This one is like a low key one to keep your eyes on. We got Hughesville versus Wyalusing. We'll see what happens there if either team is able to get a good win and maybe
That's one
sneak
for
into the
pride.
8th seed.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's for pride. We got probably the big northern tier matchup for this week. We got Montgomery versus South Williamsport. Two pretty decent teams. Montgomery's a really good team. South Williamsport is a sneaky team. This could be a very fun matchup for sure.
This is a good test for Montgomery. I think South Williamsport streaking a bit. Montgomery, if there's still doubters out there, this is a good test for them to show what they have.
For sure. And next we have Bloomsburg versus Southern Columbia. This is the big
that
matchup.
Might be the big matchup of the week. Game of the week here.
Game of the week: Bloomsburg versus Southern Columbia. So if Bloomsburg beats Southern Columbia, that is a crazy. This is almost a tale of two different teams. You have a team that is Southern Columbia that really loves to run the ball, really loves to pound the rock, and then Bloomsburg who really likes to lean on their quarterback to make plays, to get explosive plays. I'm very interested to see how this does. This Southern Columbia defense is also a really good defense. And we'll see how Wyatt Brocious and Bloomsburg handles that. And this would really shake up Class 2A if Bloomsburg gets the win over Southern Columbia.
I'll say we'd be talking about a lot of things next week then.
Yes, we would.
A lot of scenarios.
Yes. And I mean,
change our power rankings.
Oh yeah. If Bloomsburg beats Southern Columbia, you have to tune in. It would be a must listen. And if they don't, still listen anyways.
Just keep listening.
Got another solid northern tier matchup. Got Muncie versus Athens. Athens trying to keep a good solid season going. And Muncie, they've already locked a playoff spot, but like a strong win wouldn't hurt morale at all. This would be a really good win for Muncie if
That'd
they
be
could
a
get one.
really good win if they can beat Athens. Athens, a much bigger school.
Oh yeah. And then we're gonna end this off with a couple of games that are I'm not gonna lie, are probably gonna be blowouts. Warren versus Central Columbia. Berwick versus Selinsgrove. Mifflinburg versus Midwest. Line Mountain versus Camp Hill. Camp Hill is winless.
Okay.
I know nothing about Camp Hill, but Max Prep says they're 0-8.
Okay.
So that is what week 9 looks up.
Rounding out week 9.
Mm-hmm. The big games I'm going to be looking at whenever I update scores: Southern Columbia, Bloomsburg, Montgomery, South Williamsport, and Line Mountain, Mount Carmel. Those are the ones I'll be really eyeing up.
And you'll be watching Schick and Danville, so you don't have to eye it up.
I'll be watching and listening to Schick and Danville. All right. We got one little last thing. We got the Talking Time Machine. I did very good last week with Festivus. So we're going to try to see if I can get another win if I know this one. You got it, Dad?
So what TV show?
Oh, a specific TV show?
Did this theme song come from?
Oh, interesting. Are you going to sing it?
I'm not going to sing it.
No.
I'm not going to say.
That would have been.
We want listeners.
Yo, think about the content, though. Think about the social media content.
We don't want to chase listeners away. We want to keep listeners. So
okay, so you're just gonna be talking. You're just gonna.
So I'm just gonna say the
lyrics?
first couple lines. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No. Go for it.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. What famous TV show was that from?
G.I. Joe.
No.
Say it again.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
I'm even trying to think of what genre this would be. The good old boy. This seems like a western. Is this like a western show, like a western based show?
So
Is this no?
not a western based show.
Just a good old boy. Didn't mean no harm.
Never meaning no harm.
Oh, he's singing it a little bit. But he always got in trouble with the law.
Been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
Is this what's the one? But that didn't have any lyrics. I don't think it did. What was that? When we were at the last time we were at the beach house in Topsail Island.
Yep.
It wasn't the first show. What was the name of that show that we watched the first night? And all the kids were like, "This is boring. This is really boring." What was the name of that show? Because that's the only other thing that I'm thinking of. It had a Mr. T.
That was the A-Team.
It's not the A-Team.
It's not the A-Team.
Because that intro had no words.
No, that had no words.
And I am at a loss for words.
That was the A-Team. Same era though. You want
we're looking at
back
the 80s.
to the 80s.
We're going back to the 80s.
Went back to the 80s.
No, I think I like traced that back to it's the 80s.
Yeah.
How recognizable is this show? And I don't want to draw the segment on for too long. So like this is the last question I'll ask.
It's recognizable enough that there was a movie remake done in the 2000s.
There was a movie remake.
I believe it was early 2000s.
Movie remake of a TV show from the 2000s.
Well, this show's from the 80s.
From the
80s,
but they did a movie remake in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I'm leaving dead air because my brain can't I don't know.
Well,
I got nothing.
I was inspired by where I was at this weekend.
You were inspired. Is this Cheers?
No, I wasn't in Boston. Dude,
that's so. I got my choir trips mixed up. I got my choir trips mixed up because you went down to Nashville and I went down to Nashville as a freshman in high school.
Is that?
And then we went to Boston. That's where my mind went.
Okay. No, it's not Cheers.
This is based in Nashville.
No, it's not based in Nashville. Based in the South.
Homies. Okay. I got nothing.
All right.
I can't think of it. I'm tapping out. I'm waving the white flag.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this.
You are gonna get a lot of flack.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Oh, I got it. Dukes of Hazzard. Let's go. No, okay, no, I can't.
Nope, I got you on that one, buddy.
Well, no, hey, listen, I'm the editor, so they're not gonna know.
You're what?
I'm editing. I'm the editor here, so I can edit this.
Yeah,
make
okay.
it look
No, you
like
can't.
I got it.
No,
I'm very
you
good.
Did not get that.
I'm very good at audio editing, and whatever my dad says is not the case. I definitely got it. It was definitely Dukes of Hazzard. And you know what?
No cheating.
I'm gonna tell people to go to this time card of like 44 minutes.
No cheating.
And people are gonna know that I got it right, much to the chagrin of my father, who gave me a softball.
Cheater.
I got it, guys, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of Heartland Havoc. And any wise words from my father before
come back next week to check out the play or how week 10 is shaping up, and take a deeper look at maybe some playoffs are settled. And we'll go into week 10 as it gets exciting and the weather's gotten a little bit cooler, a little bit crisper out, ready for some more fall football. Take care. See ya.